Yeah. Oh. Dang it. What seems to be the problem, officer?
Woof, woof. Do you know how fast you were going?
Oh, officer, we don't need to bother with paperwork. Why don't we just make this disappear? Good afternoon, jank enthusiasts. I'm MBT, and this is 10-minute testing. It's here, it's finally here. Time to get Jushy. In case you're unfamiliar, Justice Hunter's just released, and it's about as close as we get to rotation in Yu-Gi-Oh! In it are 3 extremely powerful archetypes that will be the face of Yu-Gi-Oh! For the months to come, and none are as powerful as Vanquish Soul K9. Unleash your inner furry, because here we go. So here's the list. As always, I'll give you a background about the archetype, a little bit of a discussion about what I hope the deck can do, and of course the card by card. But first, this video is sponsored by Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck. Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck is a one-stop shop for all things Yu-Gi-Oh! They're responsible for the pack opener that makes series like Progression possible. They've got strategy articles for those looking to flesh out their fundamentals. They're the most complete repository of deck lists and results from regionals and YCSs online, and they've also got cube and draft infrastructure that's finally seeing use now that Yu-Gi-Oh! Players have come to the light of Limited. There's a good chance that any Yu-Gi-Oh! Content you see on YouTube has Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck's many tendrils somewhere within its DNA. So why not go to the source and improve your game, draft with friends, or just see what 11-year-olds are playing in their Blue Eyes decks this month? Head on over to YGOPRODECK.com. Now back to the video. With that, let's kick it off with K9 Vanquish Soul. We'll begin at the end with Vanquish Soul, a deck that needs very little introduction. This series of fighting game-inspired monsters can tag out during the main phase into different characters from hand. Historically, they're known for being like the 6th best and 1st most expensive deck during their release format, and not a lot else. That all changed a few weeks ago with the release of Holly Sue and Start, cards that fundamentally changed the deck into a hyper-consistent board-breaking monstrosity that plays on both players' turns. It went toe-to-toe with Ryziel and Malice at the most recent WCQ. This deck doesn't need help. But since when have the cops helped the people who need it? The K9s, a series of furry-bait police officers a la Zootopia, are level 5 starters and extenders that can begin their plays as early as turn 0. Izuna can special summon herself if an opponent has activated a monster effect in the hand or graveyard, all but guaranteed in the current game, then send Lupus, who vexes the opponent by hopping out of the yard and performing an Xyz summon. With other 5s in the Vanquish lineup like Sue and Xiaolong, this deck's also adept at making one of the most irritating cards ever, Pair a Dice Smasher, who basically reads, if you summon 3 5-star monsters, you win the game. It's a cop archetype. There was always going to be at least one bad apple. The end result is a strategy that starts playing the second you sit down, and does its best to ensure you take down your opponent before they can even think of asking for a lawyer. So with that, let's get into the card by card. We'll begin with the K9s. First up, 3 copies of 17 Izuna. If your opponent has 2 or more cards in their hand, you can normal summon this card without tributing, and during the main phase, if your opponent has activated a monster effect in the hand or graveyard this turn, you can special summon this card from your hand. If normal or special, you can send a K9 from your deck to the graveyard, except herself. 3 copies of Jokel. If your opponent has 2 or more cards in their hand, you can normal summon this card without tributing, and you can reveal this card and one other level 5 monster in your hand, special summon both, but they cannot be used as material for an Xyz summon of a light monster. During your main phase, you can add a non-Aqua K9 from your deck to your hand. 1 copy of K9 66B Lantern. If your opponent has 2 or more cards in hand, you can normal summon this card without tributing. And if this card is in your hand, you can target a level 5 non-Pyro K9 monster in your graveyard. Special summon both it and this card, but they cannot be used as material for the Xyz summon of a light monster. You can also add a K9 Spell Trap from your deck to your hand, which we'll get to shortly. Finally, K900 Lupus says an Xyz monster that has this card as material gains this effect. Your opponent can target this card with card effects, and during the main phase, if your opponent has activated a monster effect in the hand or graveyard this turn, you can special summon this card from your hand or graveyard, banish it when it leaves the field, and during your opponent's turn, you can immediately after this effect resolves Xyz summon using this card you control. Hopefully you've internalized that these cards just make rank 4s early and often. A couple have restrictions as to the typing of the monster that you summon, but both Jokel and Izuna are incredible tools at getting guys on board for the Xyz. And we've got a ton of really cool monsters that we'll get to when we check out the extra deck. For our Vanquish Souls, Holly Sue is the big one. During the main phase, you can reveal another Vanquish Soul in your hand, special summon this card from your hand, and as a quick, you can activate either effect. If you reveal an Earth and a Dark, you can take control of a monster your opponent controls with the lowest attack, or a Fire and Dark, you can special summon a non-psychic Vanquish Soul monster from your deck. We're playing 3 copies of Xiaolong, 3 copies of Raisin, 3 copies of Dr. Madlove, 2 Borgar, and 1 Caesar Valius alongside 3 Stake Your Soul. There's a Vanquish Soul start in here as well. You can target a Vanquish Soul monster you control to add a Vanquish Soul with a different attribute from your deck to your hand. If a Vanquish monster you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can reveal a Vanquish Soul monster in your hand instead. And then during your end phase, if you control 2 or more Vanquish Soul monsters, you can set a trap from your deck. The trap you set, of course, is Vanquish Soul Snow Devil. Finally, we've got the searchable Canine cards. First up is X-Force released. During the main phase, you can target a Canine Xyz monster you control to special summon a Canine Xyz with a different name by using the monster you control as its Xyz summon. Then you can destroy a card your opponent controls. At the end of the battle phase, if your Canine monster battled this turn, you just get to set this infinitely. And finally, a Case for K9. When it's activated, you can add a K9 from your deck to your hand. K9 monsters you control gain 900 attack if your opponent has activated a monster effect in the hand or graveyard. And if this card in the spell and trap zone is destroyed by a card effect, you can set a K9 quick release spell from your deck or grave. Finally, for non-engine, we are on a Rhoda, Prosby, triple Fuelos, triple Ash Blossom, a Dimension Shifter, and a triple Tactics Talents. You might recognize this is really low relative to what everyone else is playing. Just 7 or 8 cards that disrupt your opponent. It turns out you don't need more because so many of your cards, like Holly Sue, double as options to remove opponents' cards from the field, given certain hand compositions. You can actually play pretty fast and loose with the cards that you want to deploy from your grip. Let's get into the extra deck. First, we'll begin with the obvious ones, Zeus and Typhon. We're also playing 2 copies of Rock with the Vanquisher and 1 SP Little Knight. Vanquish Soul Rocks fills a lot of corner case scenarios. It is a new card. Once per turn, if a Vanquish Soul monster battle this turn, you can Xyz summon this by using a Vanquish Soul or the Rock as material. It gains effects based on the attributes of its attached materials. For Dark, all monsters your opponents control lose 800 attack. For Fire, all Vanquish Soul monsters you control gain 1,000 attack. And Earth, you can detach a material from this card to destroy a card your opponent controls. We're playing Nash Knight, which is a 5. You can cheat out on your opponent's turn using the effects of Izuna. Can't be destroyed by battle while a number of monsters on the field. During the main phase, you can detach 2 materials from this card. Attach a number Xyz monster from your extra deck to this card as material. That has a number between 101 and 107 in its name. Then you can attach another face-up monster in the field to this card as material. It's a really fantastic piece of removal. Our targets are Masquerade and Silent Honor Arc because we're also playing CXC's Nash Knight. This card can be Xyz summoned by using Nash Knight. Can't be destroyed by card effects. You can detach a material from this card to special summon a number Xyz monster between 101 and 107 in its name using this face-up card you control as material. Destroy it during your opponent's next end phase, and the materials underneath it get transferred to the summoned monster. So, if you put a particular monster under Nash Knight, you can ensure the chaos number that you summon off of Nash Knight has its effects live. For that, we're playing Umbral Horror Masquerade, which when special summoned can target a spell trap on the field, destroy it, and if it has a Masquerade as Xyz material, once per turn during either player's turn when a monster effect is activated on your opponent's side of the field, you can detach a material from this card, negate the activation, send a random card from your opponent's hand to the graveyard, and if you do, have your opponent's life points. All of that aside, we're playing some generally good 5s as well. Veilon, the supersized Sky Blaster, during the main phase allows you to detach a material and target a face-up monster your opponent controls, put it into face-down defense position, a la Castel. If it's sent to the graveyard, you can target a face-down card on the field and destroy it. K917 Ripper is the monster you will be seeing the most frequently. You can detach material from this card to add a K9 from your deck to your hand, and if your opponent has activated a monster effect this turn, you can set a K9 quick play from your deck or graveyard. When your opponent activates a monster effect in the hand or graveyard, you can detach a material to negate that effect. Fantastic into Nibiru. We are playing K9 EX Werewolf. Don't let the stars confuse you. You're always cheating this out. While this card has material, it can attack a number of times each battle phase up to the number of materials attached to it. When your opponent activates a card or effect, you can detach a material from this card to activate this effect based on whose turn it is. If it's yours, you can banish up to 1 card each from your opponent's field and graveyard, and if it's your opponent's, you can look at their hand and banish a card from it face up until the end phase. Finally, Paradise Smasher. Talking about this card is really frustrating because it is almost uniquely boxed out by the effects of the K9 monsters, and yet it features incredibly heavily in almost all of its combos. If you're unfamiliar with this card, let's just say there's a reason it's on the Master Duel ban list as of this week. It's broken as hell and functionally acts like VFD. Made with 2+ level 5 monsters, but keep in mind you will almost always be making it with exactly 3. Once per turn during your main phase 1, you can detach 2 materials from this card. Each player rolls a 6-sided dice twice. The player with a higher total cannot activate monster effects or declare an attack until the end of the next turn. Then once per turn, if either player rolls a die or dice while this card has material, you can treat one of the results as a 7. Kind of hard to explain, but functionally, you are able to rig the dice in your favor. Absent a total boxcar from your opponent, that means you'll be ahead and lock them out for an entire turn cycle. That's really good into what you expect to be an opponent who can interact with you, especially in a format where opponents can usually access turn 0 interaction. However, it is not foolproof. This card works about 93% of the time, which you'll realize is not 100. There are going to be times you roll the dice on a Paradise Smasher and immediately lose. Don't let it get to you. For the side, we've got Degoran, 2 Contact Sea, triple Artifact Lancia, triple Perulia, triple Droll and Lockbird, 2 Lightning Storm, and a Feather Duster. So with that, let's check out some games. Our first match is up against Onomat Ryziel, and oh, poor pathetic Ryziel still thinks he can hang with the big boys. We are going first into a Fuelos. Here we're just going to begin with the effect of the Izana. We're going to activate the effect in order to send a Lupus to the graveyard, then we'll activate the effect of the Lupus to summon to our side of the field. We'll go Holisu afterwards, revealing to summon itself, then we'll overlay for a Paradise Smasher, giving them a draw, and then smashing into a 5 and a 3, a 1 and a 5. Let's modulate one of those to a 7, and guess what? Now our opponent's cut off from everything. Let's go Mad Love, let's go Vanquish Soul start. We'll activate the effect targeting the Mad Love and grab ourselves a copy of Xiaolong, followed with a Stake Your Soul, revealing the Xiaolong for a Raisin. That's going to enable us to activate the effect of the Raisin and get another Xiaolong, Raisin again, in order to pick a couple of fires, then Xiaolong to summon itself, and afterwards activating its effect in order to grab from deck to hand a copy of Borgar. Borgar will tag out for the Mad Love. We will use the effect of the Borgar in order to reveal the Mad Love and grab ourselves a Stake Your Soul. Finally, we'll go Rocket the Vanquisher, add a Vanquish Soul from our deck to our hand, and we've got an Earth, a Fire, and a Dark. So let's go ahead and go to the end step, set a copy of Snow Devil, and play into an 8-card hand. Shouldn't actually be too difficult. We'll begin by drawing a card and triggering the effect of the Xiaolong as well. Afterwards, our opponent will go to the main phase and begin with a Pot of Prosperity. They'll find off the top. Yeah, nothing to unlock them from the Paradise Smasher. Okay, well, I guess they'll go for 7th Tachyon, reveal a 104. That gets them a very powerful card, but nothing we can't deal with. Then they'll go X'd and Sword into a Baguska before passing. Now we'll be able to kill this, of course, with the Snow Devil. We will do 4, raise it out, do 6, do 8, pop the board. We, of course, do lose a couple of cards of our own, but a small price to pay to automatically win the game. Let's go Raisin into Xiaolong, then we'll draw for turn. That's a great one. We're going to switch everyone to attack position and use the effect of the Heavy Borgar. Afterwards, our opponent's going to take 15. We'll Caesar Valius out the Raisin to summon it. Then we can go to the battle phase and start attacking. 25-3, our opponent's going to activate Called By. That's great because it means we can use Caesar on the last remaining unknown. It is nothing, and we will get in for lethal. So that's how the deck performs on the play, most importantly when you get to Paradise Smasher, but what does it do on the draw? Well, our opponent for Game 2 is playing Orcust, probably some Mitsurugis as well, and though it looks like we only have one piece of non-engine in the Mulcharmy Fuelos, this hand does a great job of showing what the deck can accomplish if you're allowed to use your K9 effects on turn 0. We're going to go Fuelos and draw. Our opponent's going to begin with a copy of Foolish Burial. That's going to send from deck to graveyard a copy of Harpor. That's the third one. They'll go Gears of the Orcust Mech Knight. They're going to summon to their side of the field a token, sending one to ours as well, and bidding a Symbol Skeleton. From here, they're going to go into Galatea Eye. We'll draw, and Galatea Eye in order to grab the Babel here, and then we actually have a really fantastic way to get rid of the Galatea in a way that keeps it out of the graveyard. We'll go Azuna. Azuna effect to set a copy of Lupus. Lupus effect to summon itself from the yard, then overlay for the Nash Knight afterwards. Nash Knight will trigger here. We're going to equip 1. They will chain the effect of the Galatea, but they're about to lose it. Setting a crescendo, we will take the Galatea and equip as well. They'll go Symbol Skeleton to bring back the Gearsu, then afterwards we're going to normal summon a Harpor, use the effect of the Galatea Eye. That enables them to go into SP Little Knight. SP Little Knight here can target the Nash Knight, but we already got what I wanted. They'll go into the Long Gearsu as well, and we are just drawing a million. Let's go for the Holy Sue here. We're going to take control of our opponent's monster so that this stops their turn. They do get to get rid of the token, but it's a cold comfort. Since we revealed, we'll go Xiaolong. We'll activate the effect of the Xiaolong. That's going to grab us a Vanquished Soul we're missing, and then we can activate the Caesar Valius, putting back the Holy Sue, because guess what? We have the materials for it. We'll use its effect in order to pop the Babel, and they will pass turn, getting back this copy of Long Gearsu. This should be all she wrote. We'll normal summon this copy of Mad Love, activate the effect that's going to grab us a copy of Start. They will Droll and Lockbird here. We will Caesar Valius. That forces out the Crescendo, but now we can just kind of go off. We'll go for the effect of the Xiaolong and the effect of the Lupus and Yard. We'll summon it and that, and then overlay for a copy of Ripper, Holly Sue, revealing another Holly Sue. We'll just go ahead and activate the Holly Sue in order to take this copy of Long Gearsu, and as they go for the Nibiru, we can negate with the Ripper, going to battle phase and dealing lethal damage. Woof. I said woof. So it's time for Game 3, and you know what that means, a best of 3 versus meta. Our opponent's playing, well, K9 Vanquish Soul. I guess you know who's going to win this one. We're going first, so let's see what we can do here. We're going to begin with a copy of Stake Your Soul. That's going to summon a Raisin to our side of the field. We'll activate the effect of the Raisin in order to grab a copy of Heavy Borgar. Then we will start. Activate the effect of the Start, targeting the Raisin in order to grab us the missing piece. Next, we'll go Holly Sue, summoning her, and then Holly Sue's on field effect, revealing 2 in order to summon a copy of Xiaolong. From here, they will activate an Izana, summoning their Izana to our side of the field, and then we'll activate Ash Blossom, activating the effect of the Raisin as well to destroy it. Afterwards, we'll go Heavy Borgar, popping swapping the Raisin for a Heavy Borgar, then Heavy Borgar in order to burn our opponent for 15. From here, we will go Xiaolong in order to search. We will grab a Borgar. We'll go Xiaolong. We'll overlay for Ripper. We'll activate Ripper, and now we can bridge to the K9 stuff. We will set the Forced Release and activate a case for K9. From here, we can link off for a Rocket the Vanquisher, use its effect in order to cycle back this Xiaolong, then use the effect of the Jokel to summon it to our side of the field alongside a Xiaolong. Here, the Jokel will enable us to get to Azuna. We'll go for Nash Knight, use the effect of the Nash Knight in order to make Nash Knight, and then end on an Umbral Horror Masquerade. Let's normal summon the Raisin, activate the effect of our Caesar Valius to cycle it, and then pass turn. At end step, we'll activate the effect of the start in order to set a copy of Snow Devil, and it's pretty much impossible our opponent beats through this. They're going to begin with a copy of Reinforcement of the Army for a Raisin. They'll activate the effect of the Perulia afterwards into a Raisin. Raisin effect into Umbral Horror Masquerade will do a lot of work for us. Afterwards, they will go for Vanquish Soul Start, we'll pop it, and they'll concede. So it's time for game 2, and we are going second this time. We have an Azuna in our hand, which is great news. They're going to begin with a copy of Stake Your Soul. That's probably worth an Ash Blossom to me. Afterwards, going to go Holy Sue, and alright, okay, looks like we do have to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Today after all. Xiaolong out will activate the effect of the Azuna effect, and unfortunately, this is a perfect Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. We don't have too much else to do, so they do get to Ripper here and go as much off as they would like. A case for K9 here, they will go ahead and grab a copy of Azuna. They'll activate Azuna's effect, summon it to their side of the field, then activate its effect to send a copy of Lupus. It's not Lupus returns, and then they'll activate the effect in order to go to Nash Knight effect in order to suck my monster and make a Nash Knight. They'll end on an Umbral Horror Masquerade and pass turn. Maybe we can do this. The Raisin draw is quite good. We'll go Mad Love here. They'll go Masquerade. Discard something bad, please. All right, well, they're going to go Force Release afterwards, and we'll just scoop it up. So it's time for that all-important game 3, and let's try something here. I'm going to force our opponent on the play. It's kind of paid off. You can see that we have a Perulia in our grip, which is actually quite difficult for this deck to play around. They're going to go for Stake Your Soul for Heavy Borgar. Borgar effect to draw a card. Then afterwards, we're going to go for a case for K9 before they normal summon a copy of Dr. Madlove, give us a draw, then activate Dr. Madlove for start. Start fires here, then they'll activate the effect of the start, targeting the Madlove, and afterwards, they're going to link off for a Rocket the Vanquisher, activating Rock in order to add back the Madlove, set 1, and pass. Okay, this is very beatable. We'll draw for turn. We're going to begin with a copy of Raisin. We'll activate the effect of the Raisin in order to grab from deck to hand a Xiaolong. We'll go Rocket the Vanquisher in order to special, and we'll special out the Madlove. Madlove effect here is going to grab us start, and we'll activate the start as well. They'll go for Rock at this position, which summons out the Raisin, but we are able to Kaiju over the Raisin, cutting them off of access to Vanquish Souls until they flip that trap card. We're going to go for Pot of Prosperity. They elect to not prematurely flip the trap, which is really something. We'll go for Caesar afterwards, targeting the Madlove, summoning it to our side of the field. We'll activate Holy Sue after that, summoning it. Then we'll activate its effect, revealing a Dark and a Fire in order to grab a Xiaolong, overlaying for a Ripper, at which point they Snow Devil. We will Xyz Forced Released in order to go into Werewolf. They're going to pop the Vanquish Soul Start and the Madlove, and afterwards they are just going to blow up everything but this copy of Caesar Valius and this copy of Dr. Madlove. Okay, they get to resolve their Dr. Madlove, and afterwards they're going to use its effect in order to bounce the Caesar. That's kind of sexy. We go Stake Your Soul, but they still have a Caesar here, so we unfortunately can't play through it, and honestly, just the ability to consistently add cards from deck to hand for follow-up causes us to lose this one. So we're back with the deck, and yeah, that took 10 years off my life. More than anything, I'm just frustrated with how difficult these games are going to be to play. They're gummy, if nothing else. Let's do the pros and cons. First, the pros. 1. The new Vanquish Soul cards have breathed new life into the strategy, with Holly Sue and the field spell creating this grindy, resilient, resource-managey deck that can play on both players' turns incredibly efficiency. The K9 cards reinforce this, and more. Azuna is another piece of turn 0 interaction for the deck. Ripper is insulation from hand and graveyard effects, while also being generic and bridging from Vanquish Soul to K9. And Jokel is an incredibly powerful combo piece, making it an any 5 into 2 rank 5s plus an Izuna in hand for a future summon at minimum. 2. The K9s are Earth and Dark. This doesn't sound like a big deal, but those are exactly the attributes that Vanquish Soul needed. It adds another piece of synergy to this pile. The engines allow you to pump out these super layered boards that are almost impossible to break while making a plethora of resources in hand for follow-up. And 3, the deck having such an expansive engine compared to decks from earlier formats is actually a benefit because both engines are really good at pushing out interaction through interruption. Raisin still threatens removal on field if the search is interrupted, as does Holly Sue. Lupus can come back next turn to quick Xyz again. Izuna punishes your opponent for even activating monster effects in the hand or graveyard. It's hard to conceptualize these individual pieces as engine or non-engine because they're all so good at both. And the cons. 1. So while there is a way to bridge from Vanquish into K9, there's not a way to bridge from Canine into Vanquish. That means if you open a hand that's full of canines, it's significantly weaker than a hand that includes Vanquish Soul cards, just by virtue of what stuff you can access and what you can end on. 2, the Charmies. Fuulos isn't that bad, but Perulia is quite troublesome to play into. A lot of the time your options are going to be, like make a Paradise Smasher and hope for the best, but if you don't have access to those levels, you kind of have to give your opponents 3 to 4 draws to do so. Droll isn't the end of the world on most hands, but hands with only Raisin or hands that need Mad Love and the field spell to resolve will get shut down by it. And 3, this is the biggest one. It is a really hard deck. This deck is not forgiving. It is not lenient with mistakes. Mismanaging a single card can be absolutely devastating, and misordering your resources kind of leads to shutting yourself off from very important interactions or throwing the game on the spot. It is skill rewarding, for sure, but it is very punishing. And the mirror, as you just saw, can get really complex. Expect it to get harder as people get better. Overall, Canine Vanquish Soul looks to be the top deck in the upcoming format. It's definitely something you'll need to familiarize yourself with, because this is gonna be inescapable. So that's that. Thanks so much for watching. These 10-minute testings are made possible by, and occasionally suggested by, my patrons, some of whom have paid a lot of money to be mentioned at the end of this video. Those people are Elena Tincher, Alex Perea, Allison Elliott, Ally, Anthony S. Sierri, APK Pearly Tier 0, Brett Henry, Cool Guy Bakura, Cool Name, Damon O'Neill, Dark Rebel XYZ, DJ Elefante, Emiliano Deverio, NB Adams, Fabrizio Petroli, Felix, Garrett Ran, Hergalicious, John Paradise, Night Mary, Legal Rights, Lucas Rosas, Luis Hernandez, Matthew M. Derezzo, MBT Play Dolce, Mike Carlotti, N54 Lionheart, Nacho Gonzalez, Pombo, Prez, Project Mercury, Rants Are My Thing, Rohan Doge, Rose Lapine, Serpentax, Shifter.mp8, Sly Ninja 43, Soul CLG, Troy Says By Erasure is Gay, Vortex, Who's Nick, Wonder Waffle, and Yuki Kazami. I couldn't have done it without you.